Yeah. What's up, mi gente? Welcome back to another episode of the Good Days Only podcast. GDO, boy. Let's go. Welcome to the Big 5-1. Episode number 51, dude. Officially over the hill. Good coffee, good vibes, good music. That's what we got coming your way. Today's an exciting episode. A lot of stuff has happened since the last time we hopped on here. It's been a minute. I know I've been a little bit MIA. The month of June was wacky. It was crazy. It was busy. It's summertime up here. It's beautiful. Whoa, watch out. So, just a lot of stuff happening, which we'll get into a little bit of that in a minute. But thank you for tuning in. If this is your first episode tuning in, welcome. And just want to mention, I know I've mentioned this before, but hit up welovecampfire.com if you are in need of some bags of beans. Campfire Coffee out of Tacoma, Washington in the PNW. Show them some love, man. Get that love reciprocated right back. Get 15% off your entire order. Beans and all. Anything else on their website. Use the code GDOPOD15 at checkout and get 15% off. Pretty much covers, shipping and handling or that tax. So really what you're paying is whatever the price is that you see on the items. Order whatever you like. Again, that's welovecampfire.com. No BS, man. But for right now, let's get into this. We got another bag of beans here. Let's get into the caffeine breakdown for episode 51. I don't know if y'all ready for this one. We got a good one right here. And we're going to the north. The north. We in the Pacific Northwest out here. But we going even further north. What am I talking about? Talking about Raven's Brew Coffee. An Alaskan original. Since 1992. All right. That's just over 30 years. Long ago. This is from their site. They have some good storytelling, which I really, really love and appreciate. So here we go. Long ago, far away, in a seascape of countless islands shrouded in mist and robed in dense forests, Raven's Brew Coffee came into being. This place was the legendary Alexander Archipelago. The Alexander Archipelago. I love the word archipelago. It's awesome. Also known as Southeast Alaska. The exact locale was the small and isolated town of Ketchikan, Alaska, the rainiest inhabited place in North America. Now, I saw that and I was like, dude, doesn't that sound awesome? It just sounds like a mythical origin story, right? I saw that rainiest inhabited place in North America and I was like, I feel like I've heard that about a couple different places. First off, everybody's always like, Seattle's the rainiest place in wherever, but it's not. Yeah, we get a lot of rain, but it's little sprinkles, but up in Ketchikan, they do get an average annual rainfall of 152 inches. Bro, imagine that. Imagine dragons, dude. I know people are saying, you might think, I saw or I heard, like me, that there's other places that have more precipitation. And sure, there's going to be conflicting information on the internet. But 152 inches of rain in a year, that's nuts. That's 12 feet of water, dude. 12 feet of water. Imagine jumping off the deep end of the pool. You remember jumping into the deep end of the pool, like at the YMCA or something when you were a kid, and how deep 10 feet of water is, even now. 10 feet. So 12 feet of water, rain in a year. That's nuts. Imagine if all of that stayed on top of the soil and didn't go through the water cycle, right? We would really all be underwater, just like the Jonas Brothers predicted. A lot of people aren't going to get that one, and that's okay. We're going to keep moving. Moving on to say Raven's Brew out of Ketchikan. The story of the real Alaskan coffee for the real Alaskans and their real Alaskan friends. Hey, come on. Sounds a little exclusionary to me a little bit here, Raven's Brew. But if you know got an Alaskan friend, maybe they've put you on to Raven's Brew Coffee. The founder, Michael Beach, wanted the presentation of the coffee to be as much like the experience of the coffee as possible, and teamed up with the local artist extraordinaire, Ray Troll. Hey, I'm going to just say shout out to Ray Troll, designing these logos. Dude, round of applause. Way to go. This art is sick. Ray, in the grip of inspired madness, created a raven rising like a phoenix from a steaming cup of coffee. So that's what you'll see. That's like their main logo on their website. But they have, I'm pretty sure Ray, maybe not, I don't know. I think Ray did the art for all the other logos. And if he did, that's awesome. That's that classic logo. So the raven flying out of the cup of Joe, coming up like a phoenix out of the ashes. That's what you'll see on their website or, online. Raven's Brew coffees are now roasted not only in Alaska, but also stateside in Western Washington to better serve the vast market. So there's a place up here in Washington as well. So you can get your bag of beans direct from the source. You don't got to go to the store. They do have them in stores, though. I've definitely seen this in stores. Maybe I remember for sure at the Red Apple. If you got a Red Apple around you, go check it out. Peruse the aisles, and you'll definitely see one of these bags of beans with the awesome art, courtesy of Ray Troll. So this bag that we got in front of us, though, right here, dude, this one's hilarious. And disclaimer: if you're listening with your children right now, turn it off right now, dude. Turn it off right now, because we sipping on not just one, not two, but some 3 Peckered Billy Goat coffee, dude. Oh, man. I love Raven's Brew. Check this out. So, the story behind 3 Peckered Billy Goat coffee. Let me get a little sip before we get into this story. I'm going to just get a refill, actually, real quick. Because we need a full cup for this one. All right. The story behind 3 Peckered Billy Goat coffee. I'm going to try to do this without... Oh, man. I'm just mad I didn't think of this before. Like, whoever wrote this up, shout out to you. A brew that is too placid may leave a Billy flaccid. But 3 willies on a Billy... But 3 willies on a Billy, is that too many for a nanny? If not, then your Billy should sup from the cup that keeps him up. So fill his cup or apply his lotion, then enjoy his 3-stroke motion. Dude, Raven's Maven. Got goat? Get it. Crudely named but aptly famed, this is one of our 3 most popular selections by professional baristas. Experience the concupiscent cup. Now that's a new word to me. Had to look it up. That's a good word. It sounds very proper. But it's actually, it just means like lustful or like sexual. Experience the concupiscent cup. FYI, dropping some knowledge bombs. There you go. Word of the day. Share the ardor and passion of this sublime and stimulating elixir, especially with those closest to you. Pour it hot, pour it lots. Uncanny high notes of fruity sweetness on top of a dry chocolatey flavor with a full body and a long sweet finish. Does that not sound delectable? Maybe not as delectable as a 3 Peckered Billy Goat, but that flavor profile that they're explaining sounds pretty nice. Dude, that's so funny though. When I first read this, like even now, I'm just cracking up reading that little poem about the 3 Peckered Billy Goat, the origin story. It's pretty funny. Good job, Raven's Brew. Love it. Moving on. You know what? First off, shout out to Billy Bob Bryan. Bill, kind sir, thank you for this bag of beans. This actually came from the OG spot up in Ketchikan while they were on a cruise up there. So thank you. Appreciate you. Let me turn my vibrate off. There we go. Because this is a good cup of Joe right here. It's keeping me caffeinated. Had a couple of these this morning. And it's doing the job. It's doing the dang thing. That third Peckered for sure got me going, dude. Let's move on to the roast type and the acidity. So we talked a little bit about the notes that we got from the roaster. You know, it's a dark roast blend. Of course, they just covered all the bases right here. Central and South America, Africa, Indonesia, and India. You know, so we got the whole fam of heavy hitter coffee producing countries right here. Covering all the bases for the flavor profiles. I mean, can you really go wrong with all of those? I don't know. Can't really go wrong with that, right? I was looking forward to the aroma on this because I was thinking, you know, it's a dark roast. This is on the bag it says velvety mouthfeel, superb body, and then the uncanny high notes of fruity sweetness hover over a dry chocolate base. You know, looking forward to the aroma on this. Let me tell you, it did not disappoint. It definitely filled the entire house with just that. It just smells like, you know, when you're walking into a cafe and you're just expecting that wave, that first wave of coffee smell to just hit you. And this one did. Let me tell you. Chocolatey, thick, really a dark roast among dark roasts. I didn't really get any of the fruity sweetness at all, but definitely some of that dry chocolate, the full body, maybe a little burnt leather. You know, I'm starting to expand on my descriptions for the palate, but none of the fruity sweet notes. I think it's just really the dark roast took, you know, any of the bean flavors really out of there. And it's just a little bit more of that smoke, that thick, classic dark roast taste, mouthfeel. Definitely full bodied though. Appreciate that. Let me get another little sip right here. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Hit this with the did this on the pour over. Did this on the AeroPress. The AeroPress, I may have poured my hand a little heavy on there. Because it was for sure, it was strong. And I mean, like, that I think put a little bit, it made my unibrow grow back in. So that's how strong this dark roast is. So check them out. It's delicious. The appearance and packaging, dude, you'll see on the post here on the IG, but appearance and packaging. Raven's Brew, killer logos across the board. You know, again, I'm not sure if the same gentleman, Ray, does all of the art for all the different bags, but this art is awesome. Reminds me of if y'all been to McMenamins, like a McMenamins type art, you know, a little bit. I think McMenamins calls it historical surrealism. Now, I don't know, you know, if this got a different, I'm sure this has a different name for this type of art, but that's what it reminds me of. Kind of like that. You know, that animated, it almost looks like it's a cartoon, you know, like this could be a cartoon. There could be a cartoon about the 3 Peckered Billy Goat, you know, probably on Cartoon Network or maybe Adult Swim, probably an Adult Swim TV show. Yeah, probably not suitable for children, but pretty freaking dope. The stand-up resealable pouch, dude. Right here, we got some falling beans from the sky. We got a bunch of little goats running around the main big boy here with some curly horns, kind of looking a little bit disheveled, like he had maybe way too many cups of Joe or way too many beans. You know, don't look into his eyes. Maybe, I mean, you know, maybe you like that. So maybe some people like that. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But this is awesome. It's dope. Love the bag. Nice, like, orange color. So it's got that pop, you know, and then that art that's in the middle really draws your attention to it. More so than, you know, if you have like a brown bag by it that's just got like, you know who we're talking about. Anyways, yo, that's it for the caffeine breakdown. Will I purchase again? Definitely want to try the one with the bear on the front. They got some on the check their website out. Let's take a look at their website. They got some other ones here. They got of course, the Ravens Brew, the OG logo with the raven coming out of the cup of joe. They got this 3 Peckered Billy Goat. There's Dead Man's Reach. Got a skull on the front, kind of spooky, maybe for like the Halloween months. There's one with like a bear on it. I like that one. They got a lot of cool stuff. There's a zebra, the Bomba Blend. So check them out, man. Check them out. ravensbrewcoffee.com. Also in stores near you, likely, especially if you're up in the Pacific Northwest. But they've got some killer beans. So check them out. Now let's move on, huh? Let's move on. That wraps it up for the Caffeine Breakdown. Thanks for joining along. Let's get into some good vibes now. Yo, all right. Just stood up for a potty break, came back, and you know that feeling when you like stand up after having like a couple tequilas or something, or maybe like some wine, right? And you've been sitting for like a half hour or so, and then you stand up and you're like, whoa, that, you know, you can feel that. That exact thing just happened to me with the coffee. And I was like, oh shit, I'm caffeinated. So here we go. Let's get into some good vibes, man. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of stuff's been happening through the month of June. So been a little MIA, but you know, all aspects were busy. Work, home, friends, family. Probably the biggest thing though, that was a huge time suck, was moving out of the big city, dude. That's right. You heard it here first. We moved out of our last apartment, and we're just now actually taking the last couple trips, settling into our new humble abode over here. Change locations. Got to keep people on their toes, dude, you know? Can't be spilling it all out there for everybody all the time. Let me just say this, you know, it's something I bet that we can all agree on. Like every single person that has ever moved can probably agree on this. Dude, moving sucks. It is such a pain, dude, to move. Come on, like packing up all your stuff. Like when did I even acquire these things, right? Like why do I still have clothes that I haven't worn in a fifth of a decade? Right, there were like some shirts, some pants, some things that I was like, oh shit, I didn't even remember I had that. Like, where did I even get that? Who gave that? Was that a gift? You know, like these types of things. And then there's all the little things that you just kind of pick up. You go to the store, you go to the thrift store, you go to the farmer's market. Maybe you pick up a little trinket here, a little other thing over there. Before you know it, you got just a bunch of random stuff in your house. And you're like, oh, you just don't realize. You don't realize how much space everything actually takes, you know? Like we were feeling a little cramped in our other apartment. So now we're in a full house, right? So we got a couple levels. We got basement, we got main level, we got an attic. Not sure if it's haunted yet or not. These are some old bones. This house was built, I think, sometime in like the early 1930s or so. Late 1920s, early 1930s, something like that. Old bones, dude. Old bones. You know, as Mexicans, we're superstitious about stuff like that. And I already told Zoe, first thing, if I hear any sort of funky, you know, spooky business around here, I'm not messing with it. I'm not messing with it, dude. I went through my ghost hunter phase already in high school. So, not revisiting that one. But yeah. Moving's a pain in the ass. You're packing everything up. And not to add insult to injury, dude. U-Haul? I got a vendetta with U-Haul. All right? Y'all got to get your stuff together. Maybe this is just a product of being in like such a populated area. And I had never had this issue with U-Haul before. But I did this time. And it was a pain. More of a, like, you know, it's already a pain in the ass to move. You're already stressed out. Your place is in shambles. But there's boxes everywhere. You don't know where you put one thing or another, and you're trying to find the coffee maker, but it's already been packed up. like these types of things. And then you get a call from U-Haul, which you had reserved. I reserved a thing, right? Like I reserved a truck well in advance, maybe like a week in advance. And I was like, yo, I'm on top of this. This move is going to be a breeze, easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. And so I made the reservation online. Hey, you're going to be able to show up on the day, just pick up the truck, grab the keys from the representative. You'll be on your way, drop it off 24 hours later or whatever, right? Maybe 23 hours before. It was like maybe like 36 hours, like a day and a half ahead. Get a call from the place. Get a voicemail from somebody, a little bit grumpy, not really like, trying to solve the problem. Hey, we don't actually have the truck that you requested, so we're going to have to send you to a different location. Mind you, the other location wasn't that far away. It was, a couple miles, sure, through the city. Not ideal, but I was like, okay, well, at least they sent me to a different option. There's a different option. I was like, all right. I call them back though, just to confirm, because I didn't get any confirmation email or nothing like that, right? And that's what you got to have it in writing, dude. You got to have it in writing. If not, it's just hearsay and you don't know what's happening. Like, so you can't point at an email or a voicemail and say that, this is what they told me if you don't have it in writing. So then I get punted, right? Get punted to this other location. I'm like, fine. Call them back, confirm. They're like, yep, you're good. You're going to be able to pick it up at this other place. And that's that. Now, it's Friday night. We're moving on to Saturday, right? It's Friday night, maybe 8:30 p.m. I'm supposed to pick up the next day at 9 a.m., dude. 9 a.m., that's like less than 24 hours. That's less than 12 hours away, right? And so I'm calling them, it's 8:30 p.m. They call me. And actually, you know what? Shout out to you, Garrett, gentleman at the U-Haul location at Interbake, because he was really, really cool. He was like, apologetic. Yo, I'm sorry. Looks like you got sent over our way, but we actually don't have the place. They didn't consult us, whatever, right? I'm over here like, dang, this is the second time I've been punted. I should be upset, or I could be upset about it. But what are we really going to do? If you don't got the truck, you don't got the truck, right? Sure. Not anything against Garrett. Garrett, you're awesome. But U-Haul overall, bro, what is this? You can reserve online and we're going to guarantee that you have a truck if you reserved online, however much time in advance. I'm like, especially getting the call like 12 hours before. What kind of shit is that? Come on. So end up calling, he's like, all right, sorry, we can't do that. We don't have the truck. The nearest place that you're going to go is like, some like 50 miles away or something. So we're like, dude, I ain't trying to do all that. Ended up having to drive to a way different location over across the water, dude, because we're ferry commuters now. Ferry commuters. Something about ferries. Dude, extra credit if you guess who says that in a TV show. Based in the Pacific Northwest. Based in Seattle. Ooh, that was too good of a hint. It's just something about ferries. That's McDreamy off of what's it called? Grey's Anatomy. Solid show, dramatic, whatever, but it's fun. So anyways, the U-Haul, what the heck, dude? Get your shit together. We ended up picking up a U-Haul. Wasn't even the same U-Haul that we were trying to get. But luckily we actually got one that was a little bit bigger because we still didn't fit all of our stuff in it. And this is going back to the point that I'm saying, like, I don't even know how we fit all this stuff into our old place. Like, now we have a much larger place and it's still like, I'm not even sure we're going to be able to fit everything here into a spot, right? Like, what? How does that happen? Anyways, moving, the silver lining in this, because the moving part sucks. But then once you get into a new space, It's cool, you know, a change of scenery. There's a new neighborhood. You meet new people. You meet new neighbors. You find new little parks. You know, it's just a cool new experience. So really excited over across the water from the big city. Commuting on the ferry was really cool. You know, watching the sunrise, and you see, you know, you're looking at over the city, the skyline of the city. Just a beautiful scene. And a lot of people, you know, people take it for granted, I think. Like, how cool is that? How cool is that? You're commuting on a boat. Like, that's your form of commuting. It's pretty sick. It beats driving for sure. I mean, we didn't hit one single roadblock or any sort of traffic on the boat. Although I have heard that sometimes the ferries are known to have to stop if there are whales in the harbor. Which, come on, how are you going to get mad at you have to slow down for a whale? That's so dope. That's so sick. But all that to say, actually, that leads me to something that I was wanting to talk about. A lot of crazy shit been happening in the ocean as of late, like in the last couple months, right? Killer whales, submarines, humpback whales. Dude, the killer whales over near Spain, they had it. I know people have been talking about this. I've seen these videos online, but how fucking scary, dude. How scary. You're just out there on a kayak or like on a little boat, right? And there's a pod of killer whales, the lion of the sea. Dude, killer whales don't give a shit. They'll kill great white sharks. And here's little old you, 150 pounds, 200 pounds, whatever. Dude, you ain't nothing to a killer whale. Nothing. A pod of killer whales? Are you kidding me? Whew. Dude, I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. That's spooky. But they've been messing with the boats and you know, causing a ruckus out there. I wonder what it is, you know? Wish we could talk to whales. And just see like, yo, what's going on? Why you guys got some beef with these boats now all of a sudden? What's happening? Killer whales, humpback whales, dude. Humpback whales. You know, actually, killer whales, I'll say this. J-Pod, K-Pod, out here in the Pacific Northwest, y'all are cool though. You know, we haven't had no beef with the killer whales up here in the Pacific Northwest. Not yet, at least. I guess I should say not yet. They still been cool over here. But the humpback whales, saw this crazy video. I'm sure, you know, maybe y'all seen it. The kayakers or maybe they were paddleboarding. I forget exactly, but they were paddleboarding out in the ocean. You know, just imagine you're just enjoying the scenery. You might hear Henry there. You're enjoying the scenery. You're out on your paddleboard or your kayak, you know, just taking it all in. This is Mother Nature. We out here. We living in it. I'm out on the ocean, dude. You know, we're not even really, we're land animals, human beings, right? We don't got flippers. Some people maybe got some webs in between their toes a little bit. But, you know, we ain't meant to be all out there like that. And all of a sudden, you're out there with some friends, and a fucking humpback whale comes up out of the water and swallows you whole? Dude? What? Are you kidding me? That's like top 3 worst nightmares for like everybody. Like if you didn't know that was a nightmare, if you hear that story, like that is a nightmare. That's so scary. Yeah, they made it out okay, or they you know, the whale spit them out. And that's a cool story. But dog, imagine that feeling. You just get swallowed whole all of a sudden, just Pinocchio style, swallowed whole by this gigantic, you know, dinosaur, like prehistoric. How long have whales been around? They've been around for a minute, right? Let's look this up. They probably prehistoric dinosaurs. 50 million years. 50 million years. The first whales appeared 50 million years ago. Well after the extinction of dinosaurs. Okay, so not dinosaurs, but well before the appearance of the first humans. Their ancestors is most likely an ancient artiodactyl. a four-legged, even-toed, hooved ungulate land mammal adapted for running. Timeout. What? Okay. So I guess I just never knew this. Look at this. Mind blown. Holy shit. Whoa. Okay, so cetaceans thus have a common ancestor with modern day artiodactyls such as the cow, pig, camel, the giraffe, and the hippopotamus. So what in the world? Timeout. So whales are related to cows and pigs and camels? And what? That's wild. The whales we know today are extraordinarily well adapted to life in the water. Millions of years in the sea have favored transformations to facilitate life in this new environment. Nostrils have evolved into blowholes now located at the top of the head. Hind limbs have disappeared and front limbs have transformed into fins. Holy shit. So I didn't even realize that they used to be land animals went into the ocean. I always thought that they were just like there in the ocean to begin with. And then, came onto land, and then that was, the creation of like the moles and everything that then made humans. Dang, dude. Wild. 50 million years ago, land roaming whales. Huh. The ancestor of today's whales, the first cetacean, I think I'm saying that right. Cetacean is believed to be Pachycetus, a quadruped measuring 1 to 2 meters long. Skeletons discovered in Pakistan indicate that the animal had typical arachnid ankles and typical cetacean skull. Yo, this is cool. It kind of looks like a little bit like a mixture between a really big rat, like it's got a big rat snout, and like a Tasmanian devil. Long tail, skinny kind of Henry looking legs, thick body. It kind of looks like Henry, not gonna lie. Wow. Except for a really long snout. And yeah, it's kind of gross looking. Yikes. Dude, look at that. The more you know, huh? Well, imagine one of these things, the descendants of one of these things, of these big land rats, a humpback whale, comes up, swallows you whole. Fuck that. That's scary. That reminds me of The Perfect Storm. Yeah, The Perfect Storm. If you guys have never seen The Perfect Storm, there's going to be some spoilers, but I don't even feel bad because it came out in like 1999 or something like that. It's based on true events too. Spooky. So this is what I'm saying is like the ocean, we don't know shit. We don't know shit about the ocean. It's crazy. The Perfect Storm is got like, a pretty stacked cast actually. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg for sure. That I don't really know too many famous people's names like that. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Mastrantonio. She looks familiar. Don't really know what else she's in. But William Fichtner also looks familiar. John Hawkes. John C. Reilly. He's in it. Came out in 2000, actually. So 2000, based on a true story. Film tells of the courageous men and women who risk their lives every working day, pitting their fishing boats and rescue vessels against the capricious forces of nature. Dude, we're just all over the place today with these vocabulary words. Dude, we're leveling up in our vocab. Their worst fears are realized at sea on Halloween of 1991. When they are confronted by 3 raging weather fronts, which unexpectedly collide to produce the greatest, fiercest storm in modern history. The Perfect Storm. Woo! Yeah. It's wild, dude. It's wild. It's like the story of, fishermen gone fish. They're fishermen through and through. Fishermen, fisherwomen, right? So they're out there. They're trying to catch their catch because that's the way they make a living. And it's a sword boat. So they're out there trying to catch swordfish, which is even more gangster. Like that's baller, right? Like you're trying to catch a fish that could impale you very easily. And you're dead on spot, and you're out in the middle of the ocean because you got to go deep, I think, to get swordfish. And Let me get a little. And so it just kind of tells a story, of this group that's out there on the ocean, and like you just heard, runs into the perfect storm. These waves, dude, like 60-foot, 70-foot, probably 100-foot waves. I don't know, gigantic, way too huge. And I was thinking, like, how often does that happen? Just out in the ocean, where there are just these gigantic waves that we don't even know about, like you don't even think about. Because we're over here, way in the middle, we're in the middle, we're landlocked. We don't think about this. But, we all seen, like if you've seen the ocean and seen just like a 10-foot wave is huge. Going back to the pool at the YMCA, think about that, 10 feet deep, right? Now imagine that, but just like endless, just a bunch of 10-foot waves. Now, stack that on top of each other, make it 20-foot, 30-foot, 40-foot waves. Ay, ay, ay. Dude, hurts my brain. Scary. But yeah, The Perfect Storm. Check that movie out if you haven't already. It's a tearjerker, though, just warning you. And, based on true events. And I don't think what was the name of the boat? The St. Gale, the Andrea Gale has still never been found along the continental shelf near Sable Island, somewhere along there. 6 of the crew were lost at sea. R.I.P. And, also, dang, not to bring the mood down, but that sad shit that happened with the ocean, the submarine cruise, dude, bomber. But those people, that CEO, like y'all seen that, it's all over the news about the submarine that was taking an excursion down to the bottom of the ocean to check out the Titanic shipwreck, and had, I believe, 5 people were on board that were out there, just getting their exploration on, which it sounds, in theory, it's like a really, really awesome idea and experience, but unfortunately, just that vessel imploded, right? Damn. Moment of silence for those folks. Woo! We got a little dark there for a second. Let's pick it up, dude. Let's pick it up. Back to this move. You know what? One good thing about this was when you're moving, you don't really feel like cooking, right? Or maybe you put a bunch of shit away already, so you can't really cook. And I probably had like at least 15 burritos from, I know I've talked about it before, and I'm going to talk about it again. I'm going to keep talking about it. Carnitas, Michoacan. If you are around the Seattle area, it's worth the trip to Beacon Hill, North Beacon Hill. It's on the corner now of 15th, I think it's 15th and Beacon Ave. Yeah, I think it's 15th and Beacon Ave. Right there on the corner, big intersection. Not too many parking spots, so you'll have to find some street parking. But bro, their carnitas burrito, shit, with the beans, with the rice, with the arroz, with the cilantro in there. You get a little bit of that salsa. Their green salsa is bomb. The tomatillo salsa. Have yourself a nice little jarrito with it too. God dang, dude. So we had that actually way too much. It's a little spendy, not gonna lie. It's a little spendy for a burrito, yes, but is it worth it? 100%. You'll definitely be in a burrito coma though. So just be prepared. And also, I'm not gonna be liable for how much money you spend on these burritos and tacos once you have them, because I'm telling you, delicious. Honestly, now that we moved across the way, it's probably a good thing, so we don't actually spend all the money there and just eat out all the time. But support local, support the mom and pop shops around here. And tacos, burritos, how could you not, dude? How could you not? I mean, like, I could eat tacos every day of my life, dude. I'll have them every which way, eggs, sausage, chicken, chorizo, beef, quesadilla, tacos with just cheese, frijoles, just a bean taco, just a damn bean taco. Warm up a nice corn tortilla I know a lot of people like flour tortillas up here, but a corn tortilla, así nomás con frijolitos and some cheese, maybe some queso fresco. Ay, ay, ay. Woo! Get that hard shell shit out of here too. I know some people like the hard shells, and but no, no. Do yourself a favor and do some corn tortillas and get that hard shell out of here, man. It cuts up the roof of your mouth too. You get, it's just risky with the hard shell. Mexican food though, man. Delicious. It's just food to me, but that hard shell, can't get over it. Never liked it as a kid. Maybe it's because I tried the other first, right? Growing up. I didn't really have a hard shell taco until like Taco Bell, maybe in like 9th grade or something. But not the move, dude. Not the move. I think also, some people will say like they're not fans of tacos. And I'm like, I don't understand it. I can't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. How are you not a fan of tacos, right? They're delicious. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, because you can have them, like I said, egg tacos for breakfast. You can have a little something else with some beans or some sort of protein for lunch, right? And then for dinner, again, any type of taco that you can make for dinner. Some birria, shit. Some carnitas, shit. Some asada, some beef, shit. Dude, I'm telling you, versatile. But I can also see how if you were like maybe 5 years old, right? You're a little kid and your first experience with a taco was like a hard shell with, that ground beef that is like in a bag in the aisle at Safeway, and then some like shredded American cheese and some sour cream. Like, if you had that as a 5-year-old and you're not really into tacos, that's a traumatic experience for a first taco experience, if you ask me, dude. So I can kind of see it. But hey, I ask you, reconsider, give it an honest try. You got to throw the seasoning on there too. Sometimes the seasoning might be off I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to try to convince people to eat tacos. More for me, dude. Yeah, I love tacos. You know what else? Asian food. Since we're talking about food, and it's almost lunchtime, so I'm getting a little bit hungry. But Asian food, Mexican food, for me, Mexican food, number 1. Asian food, number 2. Now, let me tell you this. Mexicans love Asian food. Is it a stereotype? I don't know. I don't know if people really know that, apart from Mexicans. But I know for sure, like growing up, dude, like every Sunday, we'd go to church and we'd always hit up the China buffet, dude, right after. Ooh, and I would load up my plate, and you see your other little friends from school that also go to church. Their parents take them to church. Poncho was over there with his family. Maclovio over there with his parents. The Familia Rincon over there in the corner. Shit. Even the padre was there sometimes at the China buffet. That's how much Mexicans like Chinese food. Even the pastor goes out to the China buffet with all the homies. Dude, delicious. Just load up the plate too. China buffet, good deals. I wonder if that's still there in Walla Walla by the Safeway. Dude, Mexicans and Asians throw down on food though. It's the spices. And dude, Mexican Asian fusion? Are you kidding me? Those two together? Chef's kiss, dude. I saw this video about I think it was somebody's parents, they're Korean, their parents trying Mexican food for the first time. And they were trying the tacos and they tried a little bit, and maybe I think they tried birria as well. And they were into it. Of course. What's not to love, man? What's not to love? A little bit of that spice, a little bit of that heat too. Whew. A little bit of that salsa. That'll get your nose sweating a little bit. I love that. But yeah, dude. I mean, I think that's that. I think I'm just rambling now. I'm going off on some wacky tangents. But let's get into the GDO playlist, dude. Let's get into the GDO playlist for this episode. Something that brings me great joy, dude. I was thinking about this because the last couple years in the United States here of America, the music scene, we've seen an explosion in Latin, Hispanic music consumption and appreciation, I think. I say Latin, Hispanic because some people will get all on their high horse about the individual artists, their origin and not say they're Latin. But, I'm glad that the Spanish speaking community is really on the map, and there's no denying that. For the longest time, people knew, you knew a few bilingual Spanish, English speaking artists, right? Like people know Shakira, Shakira, of course. Jenny from the Block. Yes. People have known Enrique Iglesias, Ricky Martin, Selena, of course, En Paz Descanse. But, more recently, and I know we talked about this before, Bad Bunny, aka Benito, became a household name, put reggaeton in front of the world's face, and, denied anybody looking away. You can't look away. For months on end, there wasn't a place that you would go and not see or hear something about Bad Bunny. From the magazines to the WWE to the Kardashians, dude. Shit, that's the world stage right there, right? As far as like pop culture. And even more recently, there's been a pop in a new wave of corridos, right? Which is so dope because this is the type of music, not the new corridos, right? The corridos tumbados, the corridos bélicos. But this is the type of music, corridos and just like old Mexican bops that I used to listen to growing up. I know I've probably said this here too, is like, Zoe or somebody, your friends would be like, dude, you don't know Pearl Jam? Oh my God. What? And I'd be like, no, dude, I don't know who is Pearl Jam, right? I didn't know who Pearl Jam was until I was like in my 20s. And to some people, I know you're like, what? Have you lived under a rock? Kinda. Tushi Washington might as well be shit. But the, no offense to anybody out there, but I didn't know who Pearl Jam was. We listened to country music because we're out in the country, and we listened to corridos and like some oldies, some old love songs, some ballads that our parents would listen to if you're in a Mexican household, right? So seeing the corridos resurface in this new generation, in the new wave, has been really, really dope because it's like a piece of that old style, and it's reviving like a phoenix from the ashes, like a freaking raven from the cup of joe, dude, that you see on this bag of beans. But what's a corrido, you may ask? Right? So what is this thing that I'm talking about? A corrido is, and this is just taken from the internet, is a famous narrative metrical tale and poetry that forms a ballad. The songs are often about oppression, history, daily life of criminals, the vaquero lifestyle, and other socially relevant topics. So that piece right there that you hear about the daily life of criminals. So corridos, they're not popular with everyone. Some of them talk about drugs, money, cartels. These are the ones that you'll hear of that are referred to as narco corridos, something like that. But some of them are really poetic and beautiful. They talk about the struggles that the individuals face, the oppression, or the love, for one another, or something along these lines. There's a song, it'll definitely be on the playlist. It's called La Puerta Negra by Los Tigres del Norte. And that, dude, that is a fucking song. It's a song about it's about a young couple, right? And it's sang from the perspective of the male perspective, about how they're being forced apart by the girl's parents, and the parents are placing this, this hypothetical, this black door, la puerta negra, this black door between them with not one, not two, but 3 locks on it, dude. They're like, nope, we're fucking putting this door in between you guys. We're locking this shit up and you're not going to see each other anymore. And he's like, you know what, dude? He's singing it to her, you know? Hey, your parents can try, but I mean, I'm so in love with you that I'm going to do whatever it takes to be with you, you know? And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But again, you know, there are 2 sides. I see it. There are 2 sides, and I can understand the other side. You know, there are those that say that these corridos are an abomination because, you know, they glorify the cartel violence and, you know, that they should be illegal. Like, they don't want this music out there. And it reminds me, you know, it reminds me of like rap music in a lot of ways, like back in the 80s, 90s, right? All the stuff that like NWA coming out and the police, the FBI raiding their shit or like not wanting them to put this music out or go and perform live shows for people. Like, it reminds me a lot of that. And in fact, I actually just found this out in the state of Chihuahua in Mexico. It's illegal for bands or artists to play live shows with narco corridos, which I didn't realize. I didn't realize that until recently, but that's been in place since 2011. So that's kind of, you know, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, making it illegal to put on a show with your art, shitty. I don't know. I don't agree with it. Sucks. And I don't agree with it. But again, I do understand, you know, people not wanting to listen to the violent lyrics, or maybe they were impacted by gang violence or cartel violence in some way, and they don't want it out there. But, you know, it's a form of art, and not all art is appreciated by all equally. And, you know, I mean, didn't some people like super glue themselves to like famous paintings or something in protests? You know, like that's fucked up too. Recently, didn't that happen? Somebody did that. Maybe in Europe. I don't know. All I'm saying is, you know, yes, there are 2 sides. Some people, you're going to love them. Some people are going to hate them. There's also different subgenres in the corridos, right? So like there are those ones that do talk about like the drugs, the cartels, but then there are those other ones that are a little bit more on that like love song ballad type, right? And somebody that fucking throws down on those, and you've probably heard this name, is Chalino Sanchez, one of my top favorite artists of all time, right? So this is somebody that I grew up listening to as a product, you know, because this is what our mom, our dad, is what our parents listened to. So those are more of the corridos that I think that I'll probably put on this playlist. Just a soft introduction. And then if you're interested, you can explore a couple more of the other corridos. But, you know, I'm just glad people get to see, you know, all these and listen to all these amazing young artists. You know, they got that fly game, you know, that modern twist to this old style of music. You know, and the passion, the soul comes through, the pride, dude. El orgullo de ser mexicano, colombiano, puertorriqueño, hispano, you know, just Latin, Spanish speaking. It's a pride. There's so much pride in it. And, you know, for the longest time, too, it's awesome, you know, especially for those of us that grew up or maybe were born and raised in the United States, right? In the States. You know, I remember Chalino Sanchez, right? For example, one of my favorite artists of all time. I had his music on my iPod, right? But I wouldn't want to listen to it while I was around other friends or, you know, play it for people because it wasn't cool. You know, they couldn't understand it. I wanted to fit in, right? So I'd listen to whatever the pop was at the time, or rap, hip hop, or whatever. But I loved this music, right? And I was a little bit not forced, but I felt like I put this own I put this own filter on myself to not really bump this or listen to it for fear of being different or othered, or, you know, kind of is just like a you know, you're a middle schooler, you're a high schooler, you want to fit in, you want to be with the crowd and with the in crowd, right? So that was always really, really difficult. But now, you know, the younger generation listening to these corridos, right? not condoning any of the violence or stuff that they might talk about, but again, that's art form. That's them speaking not necessarily about their own experiences, but maybe the experiences that they've seen, the violence that they've seen, or the stories that they have been told, right? But anyways, so the younger generation can listen to these corridos or this type of music or their reggaeton, right? And it's crossed boundaries now, I feel, right? Like, I've seen plenty of videos online, white, black, brown, Asian, all colors, everybody bumping some Latin tunes, some Spanish music. And it feels good. It's cool. It's really awesome to see others from different backgrounds and cultures enjoying the music, the type of music that I felt, embarrassed to play around people. So, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, teenager, I think I'm still a kid. I'm just a big doofus. So, anyways, so this episode, peep the link in the bio for the GDO playlist. Some dope ass corridos, man. We're going to throw some corridos in there, some OG corridos that I listened to growing up from back in the day that my parents listened to growing up. And then also, which that's amazing in and of itself. Like, these are songs that have held up for decades, right? So listen to some of those and then cross over a little bit into the more modern corridos that you've seen in the TikToks and on the YouTubes and whatever, right? The people that are popping off these days. But, yeah, man, I think that's it. For episode 51. I'm pretty caffeinated. Woo, that was a roller coaster, huh? Some ups, some downs. Dude, get some tacos if you don't have dinner plans on Taco Tuesday. Get yourself some tacos. Check the link again. Check the links in the description of this episode for some corridos. Get those bumping in your headphones on the way to work. Expose you to a little bit of different culture, different backgrounds. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stay cool out there. Mwah.